Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. We continue learning about the big mitzvah of love your fellow as yourself. And today, from the book of the Beis Halevi on Ahavas Israel, we're gonna, which is a classic essay of Rabbi Soloveitchik, Joseph Dover Soloveitchik of Brisk. Today, we're gonna learn how one gets there, how a person can come to love a fellow as themselves. And so how can one person rise to such an unselfish level of conduct? We're living in a time where selfishness is the stamp on everybody's head. People live in the times of the iPhone, iPad, selfies. Everything is about self-nurturing, self-love, self. Everything is spelled self. And here we're learning that really to be able to love someone else, we really need to get out of our skin. We cannot be thinking about ourselves, because when we're only thinking about ourselves, we can never come to love someone else. So the mitzvah of Ahavat Israel, to love a fellow as yourself, is found in Parashat Kedoshim. And this Parashat Kedoshim is interesting because the word Kedoshim talks about holiness, what it means to be holy. And in this parasha, the whole Jewish people are assembled together in Parasha Kedoshim, in the book of Vayikra. And Rashi, quoting Torah's Kohanim, comments that the entire nation had to gather together to hear this parasha because it contains so many essential principles of the Torah. What are these principles? Commentators note that most of the parasha deals with interpersonal relationships. And it's interesting that you would think, okay, if it's a parasha that is talking about holiness, you would think it would have to do more with you, with yourself, how you're going to take a bath, how you're going to brush your teeth, how you're going to dress, how you're going to eat, right? You would think it had to do more with you. But here we see Kedoshim is a Torah portion that's talking about how you deal with other people. This is the whole parasha. How you deal in your business, how you are an honest person, how not to cheat other people, how not to lie to other people, how not to take advantage of other people, to be generous, and so. So there's a rabbi. There was a very famous rabbi, Rabbi Eli Monk. He was a German rabbi, and he has a book called The Call of the Torah. And he notes that on the verses of this parasha, the series of prohibited commandments whose observance would lead to the ultimate ideal, love of one's fellow. In order to blossom and thrive, this moral sensitivity must go through a lengthy psychological development, beginning, this is what he says, with respect for another's personality, dignity, honor, and property. So what he's saying is that to be able to love someone else, we have to have a moral sensitivity that will allow us to accept people how they are. We need to accept people how they are. We cannot make people be who you want them to be. This is impossible. You can never change people. You can never make people be someone else. They are who they are, and your job is to treat them with dignity, with respect, with love, with the way any human being should be treated. And we see that the ultimate goal lies in the infinite richness that love offers in bringing happiness to others. Look what he's saying here. It's not so much about what people are gonna make you feel like, how people make you happy. It's about you making people happy. And so the prohibition against afflicting injury can rightfully be demanded from every human being, this prohibition. And that is our duty to respect his personality. And this can rightfully be demanded from every human being, no matter what his relations and feelings are towards other members of society. So we're living in a time where people are looking very different. When I was growing up, we didn't have these issues so much because everybody looked much more the same. Like, people didn't have such contrasts. There were not so much differences between people. At least where I was growing up, everybody looked the same. But nowadays, we're living in a time where people are looking different in many ways. And what the Torah is telling us here is that you have to respect everybody. Look how important this is. Doesn't mean that you have to be in the same way of thinking of other people. It doesn't mean that you have to live like other people live. It doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean that you have to be okay with what their lifestyle is. It doesn't mean that. You can be against that certain type of lifestyle because really it's against the Torah lifestyle. But a person needs to be a respectful human being towards any person in this world. We have to respect everybody. So the Rabbi Hillel, he teaches us a very important principle. A person came to him, a man, one day, and he said to him that he wanted to convert to Judaism, and that if he taught him the Torah while he was standing on one foot, he would convert to Judaism. And Rabbi Hillel, what did he teach him? He said, what is hateful to you, do not do to your fellow. And this is the essence of the Torah. To know the rest, go and learn. So he says, okay, now go and learn how to not treat other people badly. So Hillel understood that the questioner was not yet capable of loving his fellow in a positive, giving, unselfish way, either according to Ramban or Ramban's understanding of the mitzvah. So the renowned Tana gave him a dictum he could understand. So this is reminiscent of a principle expounded at the length by Rabbi Eliyahu E. Dessler in the classic Miktaf Me'Eliyahu. So he says that there are two character traits. There is Nesina and Netila. There is the character trait of a person that is a giver, and then there's a character trait of a person that is a taker. In this world, you have these two types of people. You have people who are givers, and you have people who are takers. And some people are givers, and other people are takers. And some people, too few, like to give and help, and most people like to take. So in commanding us to love others, the Torah is urging us to be givers. We need to be givers. And if you look at the Torah and you look at the mitzvot, the whole system is a system that is geared to making you a giver. So Hillel understood that his inquisitor may have been sincere, but he was a taker and could understand only that it is wrong and unwise to mistreat others, because they would retaliate by treating him the same way. But Hillel also urged him to learn and to understand that there is more to life than self-preservation. If he was truly sincere in learning what the Torah wants us to be, he would learn and come to understand that the goal of a Jew is to give, build, and benefit other people. And they command us to help others and avoid anything that could harm them. This is very important, that we should do things that we have to be very careful that we're not gonna burden someone else, that we're not gonna make someone else suffer. So a person who takes these mitzvot seriously and acts upon them will condition himself to become a giver. And it is humane nature that when someone is generous in another and is generous with another person and is concerned for his welfare, he will come to love that person. So, homework for the week: look in your days, in your days for opportunities to be someone that gives to someone else. It can be to open the door for somebody. Like if you're going into a store and you see someone's coming behind you, like if it's 1 minute, stay 1 minute. Open the door for someone else. If someone comes and asks you for something to eat, that they're hungry, get them something to eat. If your mother calls you and asks you for a favor, go and do the favor, because this will put you in a path of giver. And in reality, we should pray to God that we should be givers and not takers. The person that is in the giving end is in a much better place than the person that is in a receiving end. And in this parasha of Lech Lecha, we're introduced to the paradigm of giving, which was Abraham Avinu, who personifies love and kindness, Hesed, and he was a giver par excellence. He was a person that was giving and giving and giving and giving to everybody, even to people who didn't even deserve to be taken care of. So we should learn from him, and we should emulate his ways, and in this way, we will come to fulfill this beautiful mitzvah to love our fellow like ourselves. So I want to wish you a blessed week, and remember, live a little higher. Thank you.